Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the Trav Torch Show, episode number 10, the bedroom soundtrack. I am your host. Actually, I am not your host, but this is Trav Torch. I have relinquished my hosting responsibilities, but don't worry, you are in great hands. We have the excellent one and only Miss Raven Black.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. That's such a nice introduction. So excited to be here with you today. Thank you so much for handing your show over to me. Again, everyone who's watching, thank you so much for tuning in to the Trav Torch Show. And today, I'm super excited to just be connecting with you, learn a bit more about your artistry, your craft. You recently released a project, the Bedroom soundtrack.
Yep.
And I just thought that was absolutely incredible. It instantly, set the mood and instantly, just relaxed me. It was such a great project from start to finish. So,
Thank you.
yeah, how did you come up with the concept for that?
I wanted to do something special for Valentine's Day. And being as though bedroom music is kind of like my lane anyway, for the most part, I figured like what a great opportunity to put together a compilation of songs that people, both couples, single people, whatever, could just vibe out to.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's nice. So did you drop it on Valentine's Day?
I did.
Oh, nice. So a nice little treat for everyone out there.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people, it was well received. And actually your single, Do It Again, that's actually my favorite track on the project. Very great job. Very great job. And the video is incredible. Like, talk about vibes. I was like, oh, that was a nail biter.
Thank you. Yeah.
Actually, I just took them off, but I was biting my nails. I had to pop my acrylics off. I was like,
oh man.
No,
that was
it was a dope video.
That was the goal. That was the goal.
How'd you come up with the concept?
So actually, the director, Trupac back, he came up with the concept. I told him I wanted to do something artful. I didn't want to just make it just a sex video. I wanted to be artful about it. I wanted to have suspense. I wanted there to be, even though there isn't much talking in the video other than the beginning, I wanted to have some sort of a storyline. I wanted there to be some sort of tension between my character and the female character in the video. So everything just kind of fell into place.
Absolutely. The tension was there. I'm gonna tell you. And just the props that you used, the whipped cream and everything. I hopped in the shower. I was like, okay, I see y'all. And it looks like that was very well received as well. It has almost 37,000 views on that. So that's excellent. Congrats.
It's doing well. It's doing well. Thank you.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. And HQD, a close second. That has a huge shock factor. I wasn't I must say I was not expecting that. And I'm not gonna give away the whole thing, but y'all make sure you check out HQD because it's a great song. And once you listen to the chorus, it's just, oh, okay.
Like, oh, that's what HQD stands for.
What?
Like, oh, that's what HQD stands for.
Exactly. No, at first I was going to ask. I was like, oh, I wonder what HQD stands for. I'm going to ask when I speak with him today. And no, you made that very abundantly clear. So are we getting a video for that too?
You know what? You just might. I'm still trying to gauge what the second video should be from the project. There already is a video for "Give It to Me, Baby." That was a bonus track from Bachelor Life 2. So, but I may do one more video off this project. I'm just trying to gauge people's feedback. So, if you're watching, tag me on social media and let me know what your favorite track is at Trav Torch.
What socials are you on?
Pretty much everything, except TikTok. I'm on Facebook. Primarily I'm on Instagram. I got Twitter. You can go to travtorch.com and sign up for my mailing list and get all the updates there. So but primarily
That
Instagram.
was actually funny you mentioned it, that you segued the conversation into that direction. That was my next question. If you're on TikTok, is there a reason why you haven't hopped on yet?
I just don't. Maybe I don't know enough about the platform, but I think it tends to be a younger platform, and I
You'd be
don't.
surprised. You'd be surprised. A lot. I could say that was definitely the case in the beginning. Although recently, a lot more, older generations have been adopting it. Millennials and others. So I highly, highly recommend it because actually, when I listen to, is it uh-huh?
On.
Yeah. When I listened to that one, it kept popping in my head that it sounds like it would be like very catchy for TikTok. Like I could see like a TikTok challenge being made to that. So
Well, you
definitely
know what? If Raven Black thinks I need to be on TikTok, then maybe I need to be on TikTok.
hop on TikTok. I'm telling you, I hopped on TikTok during quarantine, and as many people my age have. And I must say I have been blown away. I absolutely love the platform and I highly recommend it. And I think that you would do very well on TikTok,
Well,
So
I did see. I did a Google search. Artists. If you don't do this, you should Google yourself a lot to see if people are writing about you or whatever. But I did do a Google search and I saw that 2 people made videos to do it again on TikTok,
wow,
which is
see,
cool
that's great.
because I'm not on TikTok. So I thought that was cool.
You ain't on TikTok, but you on
But I'm on
TikTok.
TikTok.
They know the world is ready. R&B superhero.
Yep.
So yeah, how do you how long have you been making music?
I've been I've been doing music since I was like 13 years old.
Wow.
So about 20 years.
That's incredible. And I can say that even in the amount of time that I've known you, your sound is just very timeless, but it also, I can hear, growth in your artistry as well, which is incredible. And I think that it's something that every artist should strive to attain. What types of things are you doing to kind of keep your talent moving forward and keep challenging yourself creatively?
I think holding my songs to a higher standard. When I first like my first album, Bachelor Life, a lot of people don't know. I started recording Bachelor Life in 2013.
Mm.
So it was recorded over the process of 6 years, so from 2013 to 2019. And some of those songs, at least to me, seem a little rough around the edges. There was some notes that maybe I could have executed better. There was, just I think what I've been doing is I've been trying to pay a lot more attention to detail and make sure that my execution is just as good as the actual songs that I'm putting out. So I guess it's
Mhm.
just more quality control
That's
and
all.
even everything. Like I mix the songs myself, so I've even been taking more time mixing and everything like that just to make sure everything sounds right.
Do you have a home studio as well?
Yes, I'm inside it right now.
I was just gonna say, I'm like, that's a very, when I was looking at your show, I was like, wow, that mic is awesome. Like, do you use that to record your audio for your songs as well?
No, no. This is actually my live mic. This is the mic that I don't I really should invest in a broadcasting mic for the show. But
Yeah, let
this
me
is
turn
my
the volume up. You need to be doing voiceover.
this is the mic that I use for live performances. I take it with me to venues because I don't want to rely on whatever mic um, the venue has, and also in the age of um, viruses and things going around, it's good to have your own mic because I do like to put my mouth on the mic when I sing. So
Absolutely. Okay.
sort of a habit of mine.
Yeah,
But yeah, I
absolutely.
got a
Any times in the past where you've performed and there's been less than ideal standards when you get there, you're just like, wow, because it sounds like that had come from in a bad experience, basically. Tell us
yeah,
what.
it definitely happened. It happened to me before, and nothing sucks more as an artist than going somewhere to perform and either not being afforded a sound check or um, having to perform on equipment that you don't really vibe with. I mean, you gotta, not all equipment is created equally, and
Mm,
not everybody works well with every type of mic and every type of, every type of sound engineer, but
absolutely.
I'm like a little known fact about me. I'm like a audio equipment geek. So one day I'll do a show about my home studio. You can't see it because it's basically the opposite direction. But I turned the closet over there into a vocal booth, and I have a mic in there that's about $2,000 that I used to record on for my
That's,
songs.
wow, that's great. That's awesome. So, and what do you get your passion from? Where do you find, your passion for where you get your lyrics from? And I guess just your different, you know, themes throughout your projects.
I get a lot of different inspiration. I'm actually just a big fan of R&B music, period, and I'm a big fan of R&B music mainly from the '90s. And I feel like that was, in my opinion, I mean, obviously other people may go back farther. I've heard older people say the '70s. They felt like the '70s was better, but I wasn't born in the '70s. So in my opinion, the '90s was the sort of the apex of R&B, and that music just seems to touch me. So I get inspired by a lot of things. I get inspired by energy. I like to just close my eyes and vibe out. Like, I'll give you the backstory for how I wrote "Do It Again." I had just interviewed Tony Sway on this show, and his story was like very inspiring to me. He was talking about how he went from working to Best Buy to being able to sell his music full time on YouTube and make like a I don't know if it was 6-figure salary, but a salary enough for him to support him and his family. And I just thought that was amazing. And he was like, yeah, we got to actually do a track together. So immediately after the show, I went and looked at some of his beats, and I heard the "Do It Again" beat, and I bought it. I bought it right then and there.
Ooh.
And I said I'm gonna make a hit to this. And I literally sat at my home bar, was sipping a little cognac, and it just came. It was almost like the song was whispered in my ear.
Wow, that's
And
incredible.
and I'm
I was
just
gonna ask you that too. That's incredible. I was gonna
I
ask, like, how does it come to you? Because it's so timeless, it's so creative, and it's so high quality, and it just sounds like it just rolls right off of your tongue. How does it happen?
uh it I think it may be a gift from a higher power, because I literally was just sitting there closing my eyes listening to it, and it was like somebody just put it in my head, and I started like trying to get the melody, making love is so much fun, baby, can we do it again? And it just came to me, and there's really no like other explanation to it. I mean, but I get real, I can see music in terms of like they're like different colors in my head. I don't know if
Mm,
that makes sense to you, but when I hear
absolutely. That really I feel like I've heard that before. I think Kanye says there's a few like really talented artists that say that they can like see the music as colors. Describe that a bit more to us because I'm very interested in hearing more about that.
so like I'll hear a song and I'll be like, that song is purple. So
Wow.
it's really it's that weird. It's like "Do It Again" to me. I see purple when I hear "Do It Again," and that's why I really like the video, because there's like a lot of purple in the video. It's like the video has like a purplish tone, and I feel like when the color of the song matches the visual, like you have like a perfect marriage of sonic and visual effects.
It releases endorphins.
Yeah, yeah. I believe that there's certain senses. I believe that there's certain senses that humans have that we really can't explain, or that we can't really tap into fully. But um, if we can enjoy them, they make us feel a certain type of way. We shouldn't like push them away. We should welcome that.
Mm. How does it feel where you are currently in your career, and the people that are supporting you and everything, and you're in such a great place and your project seems to be doing really well. How does it feel basking in where you are and looking forward to where you're going?
I don't bask in any state. I'm not where I want to be, and I'm not satisfied. And I think that's what keeps pushing me to do more, because I don't celebrate a lot of my victories, if you will. I just like, I based like, well, that was cool. Now what's next? Now what you gonna do? Because
That's
this industry,
attitude to have.
this industry is this industry is so, it's so for the moment, that if you spend too much time celebrating or thinking that you bigger than what you actually are, you get lost right in the mix.
That's incredible. Kind of like just constantly learning, always evolving, constantly pushing forward. That's a great attitude to have. And it's very humble, as well. So kudos to you in doing that. And actually, even beyond your music, your platform, your show is incredible. You mentioned that you had Sway on it. I saw that you had interviewed Donnell Jones, which was really incredible. How did
Tony
you
Sway.
how did you set that up?
I jumped into DMs.
It
You
goes
know what
down
I noticed?
to him.
You know what I noticed? If you look like you're doing something, if your presentation is right, if your approach is right, people will listen to you. A lot of people that are trying to do things in this industry are just afraid to just reach out. Like, oh, Donald Jones will never respond to me. Who am I? But if you take the time to make sure that your profile looks right, and you have some content, and you approach a person that in a respectful way, I mean, a lot of people will at least hear what you got to say. And he's a shout out to Donald Jones. He's a very cool person. He referred me right away to his publicist. Shout out to Kenya, and we were able to set that up pretty smooth. But
That's
yeah, you just got to go for it. If you want somebody on your show, then reach out to them. What's the worst that could happen? Either they don't answer or they say no.
absolutely, absolutely. Best you can do is just ask.
Right.
So how do you handle branding? I know you touched on that. What advice do you have for upcoming artists, independent artists, to manage branding and just making sure it's consistent and you know?
I think the best thing to do is to find your own lane and stay in it and do it well. I look at the people that have had longevity, and they all seem to have their own lane that they execute better than anybody else. I mean, you look at somebody like Drake. Drake is like he's owned his like emotional um rapping geared towards females. He's owned that, and he stayed there, and he does it well, and he's found different ways to keep it fresh. You know what I'm saying? 50 Cent, he owned being the bully. He didn't back away from it despite being criticized. You know, somebody like R. Kelly, despite the nonsense that he got involved in, he owned that bedroom music lane, and he did it well, and it was well executed for decades.
Mhm.
Even take the Isley brothers. They survived 5 decades at least, just staying in their lane and not trying to be a sellout, not trying to do something that they had no business doing, and they stayed in their lane and they did it well. So that's one thing that I've been trying to do, is I know what my lane is, and I got to figure out how do I continue to execute this well, and how do I continue to do it in a way where it sounds fresh. Where my next project doesn't sound exactly like my last project, but I'm still being who I am.
Right. And I think that that's something that you've been very, very good at achieving and accomplishing, because I can say, like I mentioned earlier, it's like your sound is so consistent, but it's timeless and it always is evolving at the same time. Like you can really, hear how each project is just differs, and it's just really, really great. I got to give it to you. And I'm so happy to have the honor of being able to follow your, career for so many years. So thank you for taking me along on the ride with you.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it. Um,
Pleasure's all mine.
yeah, no, for sure.
But
So
yeah, well, real quick, one back onto what you were saying, just to add one thing, one trick I do when I do make an album is I'll write new songs, but I also go back in the crate to songs that I wrote like when I was in college, like from like '06 and '07. And
mhm.
I'll take those demos that I made and I'll send them over to one of my producers, Wicked Keys, and we'll just update the song.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
So
So he'll create a brand new beat with it.
yeah,
Wow, that's incredible.
yeah.
How does that
Like
look?
so like on like
Those
on was written in originally written and recorded in '06.
oh wow. That's
Yeah.
incredible. And look at that. See, that's what I'm talking about. Timeless.
Yeah,
How
if
you
you
can just make a song, let it sit, pull it out the archive, and have a hit.
what because what people don't get is if you have a message, messages don't expire.
Mm,
Maybe trends in how tracks sound, the different drum kits and sound kits and piano sounds and stuff, those things are things that can expire. But if you're actually talking about something, and romance is something that never expires anyway. So
wow. That is so true. Since the dawn of time, since the dawn to before the Romans, BC. No. But yeah, that's really deep. Messages don't expire. I think that's something that more artists should definitely focus on. So everyone tuned into this show, that's here for the tea for the artists and developing your career. Definitely keep that in mind. Messages don't expire. How are a few ways that you treat and manage your music like a business?
um I have two spaces that I exist in. I have my creative space and I have my business space. And I try to separate the two.
Hmm.
So if I'm in creation mode, then I try to go all the way into creation mode. But if I'm in business mode, I try to go all the way into business mode. And I feel like artists mess up when they start to blur the lines. And
What do you mean by that all the way in? So do you spend like, let's say, do you take time like weeks at a time to focus on your craft and artistry, and then once that's done, then you take the time to kind of
yep,
focus on business aspects?
I separate them completely.
Wow.
And I feel like that's a better way to do things, because I feel like if you're trying to put together a song and then at the same time you're worrying about a marketing strategy, or you're worrying about what you want the cover art to look like, or you're worrying about how much you got to spend to do certain things, like how much do I need to get this song mastered, how much do I need to set aside for promotion, it ends up taking away from the creation process.
Mm,
And vice versa too. If you spend too much time creating and not enough time trying to strategize your release or the business side of it, then your business is going to be lacking.
mm.
So my suggestion is to just do one at a time.
That's a good
And
that's a good tip.
yeah,
Absolutely. So how do you plan your rollout? What does that look like for you?
every single and every project is different. I think it depends on I think it depends on the music. What type of music is am I making? What's the overall theme of the project or the song? Um, do we need to have a video go alongside with the song? Uh, what type of what type of outlet should we hit in terms of promotion? I mean, these are things that are all different depending on the content.
Mhm.
So but what I like to do is I'll just get in that creative space. I'll make the song, I'll make sure the song is nice and tight and it's finished and it sounds good. And then it's like, okay, now let me put my business hat on and figure out how to make this work.
Absolutely. That's awesome. So just how did you learn all of this? Because you have a lot of information to pass on, and I think that that's something that's so important, that more people in our demographic and just in general, everyone in general needs to be focused on knowledge transfer. How did you learn the things that you know today, and what else can viewers of your channel expect to see in the future with regard to your education?
Yeah, so I've made a lot of mistakes. I've learned a lot from making mistakes, from doing stuff and making mistakes. But everybody spends hours a day just looking at their phone, just looking at their phone on social media, doing something that's not constructive. You could simply do an internet search and type in, what should I do when I release an album? Or what should I do before releasing an album? And you'll find plenty articles written by do-it-yourselfers with guidance on things to do. Like, a lot of people don't know, if you put out a song and you don't register that song with Mediabase and SoundScan and BDS and all those other things, you're not going to get credit for your plays if you do get played on the radio or something like that. But there's basic things that you can just research and figure out, okay, and even come up with a checklist. So, okay, I'm putting out a single next week. I need to make sure they think they just upload it to CD Baby or TuneCore or DistroKid or whatever, and that's that. Like, you make sure that you register your song with a publishing administrator to make sure you get your publishing royalties. Make sure you copyright the song, and you understand at the very least how to. If you can't figure out how to do the form, then talk to somebody, talk to an attorney, save up some money and get guidance on that. But there's so many things. There's so much information out there, and we live in an information age. Like, to me, there's no excuse as to why you can go on YouTube and figure out how to change a kitchen sink or whatever.
Learn everything on YouTube. It's crazy.
Yeah, and you can even learn on YouTube, what to do when you release an album. There's so many people that have done this before. Mm-hmm. So you basically don't have any excuse.
Awesome. And actually, you know what? You touched on something that I wanted to ask you about, because it caught me off guard too. You have a couple of things on this the bedroom soundtrack that was like a shock factor to me. The first one that I mentioned, HQD. And then I was looking at the bedroom soundtrack. I was looking at the album art, and I had to look twice there for a second, because it kind of looked like something was in the picture. But then I had to look, and I was like, oh, that's a blanket. Did you design that?
No. So another interesting story. The picture was actually taken in my basement.
Oh,
and
wow.
Yeah, and I was like stepping on a stool, and the graphic designer was able to just take me somewhere and put me somewhere else.
It was so great. And it was like, yeah, it's awesome, because it was definitely a great project. Everything, just it's all about branding. And I can say that with this, you've definitely done a great job. It's short, it's sweet, and we even have a bonus track. What made Give It To Me Baby a bonus track? Why wasn't it just six tracks on the project?
So I had released Give It To Me Baby on Bachelor Life 2. Okay. And it was well received. The video did well, and I felt that it fit with the mood of this project as well. And it's actually a trick that even a lot of major label artists use, is they'll re-release a song if they want to get some more attention on it. So like, you look at they did that with Pop Smoke. Mm-hmm. It was they took his best song and put it on like 2 or 3 mixtapes. And they did that with Ella Mai when she came out with Boot Up. They put that on, they released a single, then they put it on the EP, then they put it on the album. Mm-hmm. So it's a way to, it's a trick to maintain awareness on a song and also to keep the song relevant.
And doesn't it also kind of help with the performance of the new release as well? It helps, I guess, with the algorithm most likely, I would assume so.
It can't hurt. And especially if you put out something and let's say that song is familiar to people and they like that song, like, oh, I'm gonna check out the rest of the songs. So
Mhm.
if you have a song that people like and they see it in a compilation, they're more likely to listen to the other songs as well. So it's
Mhm.
a sort of like a little marketing strategy that I experimented with. Seems to be working out.
That's cool. That's awesome. So what else can we expect? I know you mentioned that you have a couple of videos that we can possibly look out for. So I'll definitely be looking out for those. Are you going to be making a second bedroom soundtrack? Is this going to be like a consistent vibe we can expect from the R&B superhero?
I haven't committed to anything yet,
Oh, okay.
um, but they all of those things are possibilities. You could get volume two. You could get an HQD video. You could get a video for another. You shaking your head. Yeah, you want the HQD video. Yeah, a lot of people like that record.
It's
Said it has
dope.
like a vintage feel to it.
Yeah, that was like definitely the close second of my favorites, and I really really like that one. Freak You Up. I really want a video for that one too.
Okay.
That one was really good. All of them were really good, but those definitely stood out to me. So
So shout out to Tanya Ray for helping out with the backgrounds on that track Freak You Up.
wow, shout out Tanya. That's what's up. So you have such a strong network. That's awesome.
And that you know what that is that's very important.
Hmm.
Back to what we were talking about before with the business aspect of it and how to make sure that you're doing effective business. Um, you don't have to be the person that does everything because I can't do everything. I can't design an album cover. I can't I'm not good at audio mastering, but I'm good at mixing. But if you have like a network of people that you go to for stuff, like I'm gonna go to this person for this. I'm gonna go to this. Here's my graphic designer. Here's my this person. Here's my producers. Whatever. If you just have a list of everybody that you need to contact and they're accessible to you, it makes your job so much easier.
Mm. So you keep
Everything
it all
will.
in one solid spreadsheet.
Well, I mean, you could have a spreadsheet if I keep it. I have those people in my head, and I just know that if for whatever I need, this is the person, and
Hmm.
it just makes your projects begin to run like well-oiled machines.
Absolutely. How much weight do you put on email lists?
Uh, email lists are very underrated. They're very underrated, and they're very important. And the reason that they're very important, and a lot of people over rely on social media, but with an email list, number one, you're able to contact people directly, and those people can open up their emails and get anything you want to show them. And there's no character limit. There's no whatever. Two, if something happens to one of your social media accounts, and let's say all your followers are on Instagram, and for some reason Instagram goes down or you get banned from Instagram, like you see when it used like I give you a perfect example, Donald Trump, right? Donald Trump was on Twitter, and the majority of his people that followed him were on Twitter. And once he got banned from Twitter, he couldn't talk to nobody. So artists they shouldn't make that same mistake. Take time and ask people for their email address so you have a way to stay in contact with them. Just in case Instagram becomes a MySpace and it is no longer active.
It always happens.
It's just a matter of time,
Nothing lasts forever.
right?
But yeah, I do appreciate so much your time today and allowing me to host your show. This is such an honor for me. I really do appreciate it. Just trusting me with your audience and just taking the time to explain things, answer my questions about, artistry and business and treating your music and craft like a business. Um, Really, really appreciate it. So tell me again, just what else can I keep an eye out for? Just what's next on the horizon?
Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on this show and doing this, and taking the time to listen to the project and uh, go through it with a fine tooth comb and let
I'm
me
gonna
know
keep
what you think.
listening to it too. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. It's fine.
I
Got
appreciate that.
jumps on it.
I appreciate that. I wanna focus on this show a little bit because I actually stopped making episodes for a couple months because I wanted to focus totally on finishing the bedroom soundtrack. And I find that when I try to wear multiple hats, like uh podcast show host and business hat and creative hat, um, I'm gonna end up cutting a corner somewhere. So I want to recharge the show, um, have some good guests coming up and some really good information. And at some point, there'll probably be another video. So that's what you could expect in the immediate future.
Oh, that's so exciting because your show is awesome. I definitely am tuning in. I turned on the notification bell. So, everybody watching, make sure you subscribe, like, comment, share, hit the little notification bell so you'll know every time he uploads a video because, again, the content is just priceless. And I definitely will be tuning in. So, thank you.
And before we go, how does everybody contact you? How can people follow you and be in touch with you?
Yeah, so you can feel free to follow me on Instagram. I'm at Raven SoFly on there. I'm in my DM. So if you ever have any questions or anything, feel free to message me there. And also, while you're at it, you can go check out the publication that I work for, the Rap Fest, and that's at the Rap Fest on Instagram as well.
Dope, dope. And before we go, quick quick shout out to Rob Schwartz of Who Mag Multimedia and Distribution. They just released a Essentials R&B Volume 2, and
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
track 2 on there. So
I
it's
did
on.
see that. That's awesome. There was someone else actually that I know on there, Zaim. That's awesome. That's a great lineup. How did he pull that together? Do you know?
Well, he's been he's my distribution partner with the Orchard, and he's been doing distribution for like a decade. So he's got a lot of established artists that he works with. So when he told me he wanted to put me on the R&B compilation, and I was like, wow, well, thanks.
That's
Like,
incredible.
that's dope.
See?
Yeah, but it's on all the streaming services if you want
Gotta
to
check
check that
it out.
out.
I do need to check that out. So thank you so much for mentioning that again. Because I meant to bring that up to you. Because that was incredible. I saw that. I was like, wow, look at that. Out here working.
Yep, yep. I was just down there this past Friday in his office signing a bunch of CDs. So there
Wow.
was a lot of CDs to sign, but it was cool.
Things to be grateful for.
Yep,
Gratitude is the attitude, right?
yep, yep, yep.
Awesome. That's great. Well, cool. So keep me posted. I will check in with you and definitely stay tuned to your show. Thanks so much again for having me.
Yes, indeed. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the Trav Torch Show. If you like what you saw, please hit that like button, comment, subscribe, whatever you can do. Make sure you follow Raven Black. She's doing some great things. And until next time, peace.
Peace.